Brief Captain here. Today, I'll be telling you about the cartoon Monster House. Give us a like if you enjoy our videos. A little girl is riding her tricycle through the neighborhood. She's enjoying autumn, greeting the fence, the leaves, and the sky. But suddenly her bike hits Mr. Horror Nebbercracker's lawn and stops. Nebbercracker himself appears and chases the girl away, breaking the bike and taking it with him. This old man terrorizes all the neighborhood kids. Despite this, Dustin Walters, nicknamed DJ, keeps an eye on him and makes notes in his diary. Dustin's parents are going away for a few days. A nanny named Elizabeth will be looking after the boy. While she's gone, his best friend, Charles, nicknamed Gulper, comes to visit. He bought himself a new basketball and invites the DJ to play. Meanwhile, Dustin suggests that he skip the Halloween trick-or-treating this year, but Gulper disagrees. He only looks forward to this holiday to gorge himself on candy. As they were throwing the ball, it ricocheted off Gulper's head and flew into Nebbercracker's yard. The boy convinced DJ to go get the ball, as it was brand new and Gulper had to go through deprivation to save up for it. Just as DJ was about to reach it, the angry neighbor showed up and caught Dustin. He grabbed him and began to shake the life out of him, but then the old man had a heart attack and collapsed. As soon as the man's heart attack hit, the fire inside caught fire and smoke billowed from the chimney, as if the house had come alive. DJ and Zaglatish called an ambulance. As the paramedics wheeled Nebbercracker away, the grass next to his house clung to the gurney, preventing them from taking the old man away, but they did. The house glared at the boys with such hatred that one of the windows cracked, as if it were decapitating the DJ. Dustin found an antique key at the spot where Nebbercracker fell and took it for himself. After the old man was taken away in an ambulance, Elizabeth arrived. She was a tough girl and babysat for extra cash. Entering the house, she turned on some music and called her friend, Masol. She told Dustin to call her Z and sent her to her room. When DJ got into bed, he immediately fell asleep. He dreamed that a giant shadow from Nebbercracker's house crawled into the room and attacked him. The DJ woke up to find his phone ringing. Someone was breathing heavily on the other end of the line. Dustin decided it was a prank and dialed the number. Then he heard the phone ringing in the house next door. DJ realized it was Nebbercracker's house that had somehow called him. It must have been the old man's ghost, but Masol and Elizabeth didn't give him time to consider that. They broke into his room and started torturing him. Masol was especially aggressive. Elizabeth had to take him away. When they left, the DJ glanced at the neighbor's house, and its curtains had risen like a human eyelid. When he looked again, the curtains were closed. Dustin decided to call the slug and tell him everything. They agreed to meet at the construction site. DJ tried to sneak out, but in the living room, he overheard Masol telling Z a story about a kite. When Masol was little, the kite flew onto Nebbercracker's property and he never saw it again. Then Masol started fooling around, and Z chased him away. The boy was already drunk enough on beer to be bold enough to go to Nebbercracker's house. He started trampling and tearing up the lawn, and then the door opened, and Masol saw his kite there. He went to pick it up, but the house grabbed the guy and dragged him inside. The DJ arrived at the construction site and found the swallower hiding in an excavator. The keys were left in the cabin, and the swallower even managed to start the machine. He went with a friend, but he still couldn't quite believe that Nebbercracker's ghost had returned and was seeking revenge. The exuberant little gobbler even walked up to the porch and rang the doorbell. At that moment, the house came alive. A toothy maw had appeared in place of the door, and the carpet had become a tongue. A gaping hole opened up in the living room, through which the house was swallowing people. The boys barely escaped and ran in panic to the DJ's house. They holed up in the room and watched Nebuchadnezzar's house all night, but nothing else strange happened. In the morning, a girl selling Halloween candy called the DJ's house. Jenny persuaded Elizabeth to buy some candy from her, then went to the neighbors. Elizabeth takes the chocolate to the DJ and the guzzler and goes off to find her boyfriend. Masaul left last night and never returned. The guys figure he was eaten alive by the neighbor's house, but Zinni believes it. As she leaves, the gulper spots Jenny. Then DJ sees her, and they both start to fall in love with her. But then Jenny turns toward Nebuchadnezzar's house, and the guys rush to save her. The girl doesn't believe the house is dangerous. She dismisses them as local idiots, but then the house comes alive and tries to swallow her. Her friends manage to pull Jenny out at the last moment. Then Z appears and the house becomes normal again. The swallower's father called. He's worried about where his son has disappeared to. Seeing DJ shaking with fear over Nebuchadnezzar's house, Z goes to check it out, but Dustin stops her. He says he's just going through puberty, which is why he's acting so weird. Elizabeth leaves, and DJ invites Jenny into his room. Here they begin to seduce her with all their might, but Jenny doesn't fall for their advances. The situation is made worse by the bottles of urine. Is that urine? Just turn off the lights, if I'm not mistaken. The boys hadn't left their room all night, so they had to do their business in a bottle. Jenny decided she needed to tell the adults everything. Not about the bottles of urine, of course, but about the monster house. But her parents didn't believe her. So she called the police, because the house had just eaten a harmless dog that had decided to take a leak on the lawn. However, the cops also concluded that the kids were just playing around. Dustin tried to provoke the house into aggression, but it refused to turn into a monster in front of adults. The police chased the kids out of there so they wouldn't bother the neighbors. Hey, pose gently. I live in that house over there. Then the DJ took the friends to a true expert in such matters, Reginald Skalinski, nicknamed Mosk. Reginald doesn't notice the kids, lost in the ecstasy of the game. But the kids distract him by telling him about the monster house. Hearing this, Mosk told his friends he'd heard of something like this before. It turns out that building materials can absorb soul energy and become animated. Such a monster can only be killed with a direct strike to the source of life, the heart. The friends realize that the heart of the house is its fireplace, as it lit up the very moment Nebuchadnezzar was taken away. DJ devises a plan to create a scarecrow and stuff it with sleeping pills. Then feed the scarecrows to the house, and when it falls asleep, sneak inside and extinguish the fire. The little swallower will get a sleeping pill from his father's pharmacy. They construct a scarecrow out of a vacuum cleaner, old clothes, and a Halloween mask. Once finished, the boys drag in an extension cord, set the scarecrow up in front of Nebuchadnezzar's house, and throw a pebble at the doorbell. Then they plug in the vacuum cleaner, and it drives itself to the house. The house is ready to swallow it, but at that moment the cops arrive and the vacuum cleaner's cord gets disconnected from the extension cord. The police realize the kids have been causing trouble on their neighbor's property and take them to the station. But before they can get away, they hear strange sounds coming from the house. They go to investigate, and the monster house devours them. It then sucks in the police car, where Jenny and the DJ from Aglatish are sitting, but the guys manage to escape through the back window. Well, they don't have time to escape the house. The building calms down, thinking it swallowed the kids. The friends set off to look for the fire. In the process, they find explosives and a uvula, which, when pressed, triggers the gag reflex. And the house will release what it has absorbed. On the walls are photographs of a young Nebuchadnezzar and his gigantic wife. In the basement, The boys discover thousands of toys that the house has swallowed over the years. Also, there is a cage containing the crypt of Nebuchadnezzar's wife. Her name was Constance, and the old man apparently mourned her for a long time. The key DJ found on the lawn was for the lock on the cage containing the crypt. DJ accidentally destroys Constance's cement crypt, and the house awakens. He grabs the kids and tries to swallow them, but Jen doesn't have time to grab their uvulas, and the house is torn apart. The friends find themselves on the lawn. Among other things, the explosives that Nebuchadnezzar kept in the living room have also ended up there. The friends are too scared to re-enter the house. They quarrel, and the DJ wants to go home, but on the way he's almost hit by an ambulance. A living Nebuchadnezzar emerges from it, trying to calm his home, calling it Constance. And then the DJ realizes the old man has been protecting them all this time. Nebuchadnezzar tells how he first met Constance. She was performing at a circus, and rotten tomatoes were thrown at her from the audience, but Horus fell in love with her and took her away. While they were building a house, some neighborhood kids showed up and started throwing tomatoes at Constance. She became enraged and wanted to kill them, but Nebuchadnezzar stopped her. He tried to stop her, but Constance lost her footing and fell into the basement. Cement mortar poured down on her from above. Nebuchadnezzar finally finished building the house, but all these years he'd been scaring children away from it so Constance wouldn't have a reason to devour them. After all, she and the house came to life on Halloween. Horus can't live without her, he's afraid of being alone. So DJ says he and the kids won't abandon him. Nebuchadnezzar decides to put Constance to rest once and for all. Dom sees this and attacks them. The friends flee to the construction site, while Horus holds off Dom and tries to feed it explosives found on the lawn. But Constance doesn't want to die, she grabs the old man and plans to kill him. At that moment, Swallower appears on an excavator and begins a fight with the house. Meanwhile, the DJ runs to Horus, who hands him the explosives. It must be thrown into the chimney so that it hits the heart and kills the monster house. While Gulper fights the house, DJ and Jenny run to the crane and climb up. Gulper tries to lure the house under the crane's boom, and the building follows him, but falls off the cliff and collapses. The boys think they've won, but a minute later the monster house comes to life. Now it's even more terrifying and ferocious. DJ is afraid to walk on the crane boom, so Jenny kisses him, inspiring him to try his best. The boy runs along the rope, Jenny lights the fuse, and they drop the explosives down the chimney. The monster house blows to pieces. When it's all over, the boys find Nebuchadnezzar, who has said goodbye to Constance and feels free. For the first time in years, he doesn't have to live in fear, because the children are no longer in danger. The four of them head to where Nebuchadnezzar's house once stood, and when the neighborhood kids arrive, they give them the toys they left on the property. The little girl gets her bike, and Gulper gets his ball. Jenny's parents come to pick her up, and she says goodbye to her friends. Then the DJ's parents return, and he and Gulper decide to forget about being adults and go begging the neighbors for candy. From where the stomach was, a slug crawls out, followed by the police and their dog.